by, you know, the level of the gap, but it does take a little bit of the range out of the markets. The first thing you always want to do, right, when you wake up, take a look at the markets. What's the Qs doing? What's the SPY doing? Right? Take a look at your market indexes, right? Take a quick look. Oil, gold, QQQ, SPY. First thing every single morning so that you know exactly where the market's positioning and what needs to be done. So first thing we can tell, right, number one is we're obviously in just a big monster trend riding up the 9 EMA. That's been the case for literally the last 2 months, so there's no surprise there. We got a gap in the markets, which is also no surprise there. In strong uptrends, the market will gap up all the time. That's why, like, when the market is under the 50 SMA on the QQQs, I never do any swing trades overnight because the market will gap down a lot. When the market is over and you're trending, you get gaps all the time, which is why it's important, even if you're a day trader, to have 1 or 2 swings going in your portfolio, because you will get these kind of gaps, and so it's like you just wake up and it's like a little morning boner for you where you got some nice gains. But these gaps do take some of the range out of the day trading, so you got to be a little bit careful in the way that you position yourself. So there's a handful of things to do. Now, the good thing is it is earnings season, and we need to be able to really shred this thing. So let's take a look at the SPY. We got to be careful. Like, we're not going to be able to necessarily just trade regular stocks the way we normally would due to the size of gap. Statistically, big gap days are the toughest to trade. So let's take a look and see like what kind of earnings plays we have, and then we'll kind of read through our watch list. Obviously with BYD yesterday, there was a lot of fun to be traded. We just got to be careful now. So like you can see this ACA over here, like this thing spiked up to 25 pre-market, but it can't hold. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing red roll. So just be careful with this one. That's not really my cup of tea on this. When I look for earnings plays, I need clean breakouts, right? We want clean breakouts. That's not what we're looking for. GNPX, today's crack cocaine. So this thing faded off hard yesterday, but it's already regapping. That one's a little bit more, man, that one's a little bit more tricky. I'd probably leave that one alone, because when you see this kind of tail, when you get a tail on the candle like that, there's not necessarily like any, that's a very tricky stock to trade when you get a tail like that, because that's usually, I mean, they call that a hammer candle, but they usually indicates that there's some kind of selling going on. So even though you're getting pumped again on this thing, I don't think that this one is probably the easiest out of, you know, the kind of gappers that you'd like to play. ACMR. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, this ACMR is hot. So this is the one thing is, you know, I've been talking about. IPOs have been really hot in this market, by the way. And you can see, like, when these stocks like start to break these IPO highs, they really start cooking. I mean, you can, even if you're ripping just like a few hundred shares of some of these breakouts in this type of market, I mean, you could really, you could get some account builders going in terms of, you know, your portfolio, your account. What I mean by account builders is every single year, you really got to have, you know, a couple of trades that really kind of add the padding to your account. So we call those account builders. So, you know, if you have, like, say, a smaller account, you know, and you can rip like a couple hundred shares or something like this, but you can rip, you know, 10 points on it, or, you know, even something higher because it just keeps trending on your lotto shares. Those can be account builders that take you from, you know, really kind of adding that padding to your account so you can kind of have some bigger trades going. This is kind of one of those things. I'd add this to the list for a potential day trade today. Only on weakness, though, because it is getting a little bit extended. But frankly, you got a lot of momentum in this. Like, I definitely want to keep that on the watch list. Now, Netflix had some earnings out. You can already see, like, it's fading off here. It didn't wait for us. Damn, what a sucker. you can trade these sometimes pre-market. I keep this on the list though. Like if it starts to kind of crack some of these zones here, you're definitely gonna get a good short out of it. Man, I was really hoping for it to wave for us, but you know, watch if you're looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see here like you're starting to break some trend lines and stuff. If you start to build under this level, I think that you get a play in this. Let's keep that on watch. Now I got this spice on watch for a parabolic short. So you got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 day, 8 day, 9 days. This is like another one of those, right? That's why you got to always keep a couple lotto shares on some of your trades. You know, something like this that can $11, that can run 5-6 points in it, you know, in a week. I mean, that's an account builder type of move too. And these IPO, when these stocks are breaking their IPO highs, they're doing that. They're really running like 30, 40, 50%. So it's like really important if you can, right? You keep a few hundred shares of some of these kind of things for some swing, you can really, really bust out some good gains. Now, this thing is getting really long in the tooth, so you got to gap up today. This could be an exhaustion gap. I'd actually be looking to lean into this for a potential short. So any type of parabolic push on this one intraday, I'll start looking for lower highs, and I think that we'll get a potential short out of that one. I like the overall look of that one. Alex, what's your entry on crowd? All right, let's talk about the regular watch list. So first of all, look, these are going to be non-gapper stocks, right? So you got Yeti over here. You see the overall look of this? What do you got here? 1 test, 2 tests, right? You're on the 3rd test. I think that this one could break out. My worry on this one is going to be that it's a little bit loose. You know, it's come a long way into the breakout. That's why you saw a little bit of this tail coming in. It may not matter because, like, in a day, you know, another day it'll catch up. But you got a really, really powerful level over there that has to be respected. Man, if this thing can break and hold, you know, into this 36, 37, you can see this thing. I mean, you can see this thing $45, $50 very quickly. Definitely something we want to watch. You got a flat open on this. This one could take off right at, this one could take off like right at the open. So watch this one. Like you can see yesterday, this is the kind of move you'd want to do on this. So if you think about like how would you get into a stock at the open? See yesterday how you had the week open. So close at 34.25. See how you got the week open on this? And it popped down like 50 cents. And then it went red to green. That's like, so you can hit this thing at 34.25. That's where you get the really nice spikes. You know, that gives you a nice kind of $3 day trade potentially. That's where, you know, you really want to go. You know, Alex, in our swing trade service, we had it crowded like 54. I think this is probably, you're getting closer to the sell spot. Let me see here. Yeah, 55.40 was really the entry. You're late. This is more of the sell spot. All right, so we got Yeti. Yeti. Day number 2 plays. BYND. Dude, this thing was so hot yesterday. One thing, you know, I made a mistake on this trade yesterday that I think is important. You know, we took a really nice rip on it, you know, on the flag break. I think we took a nice rip on it, you know, and caught a good chunk of the meat of this first push. You know, this is a very, very simple pattern that you guys all can trade, right? So it's just, I took the first entry I took on this, you know, I ended up selling it for dollar loss because the 9 EMA was just too loose. And then, you know, we re-hit it as it broke. And this one was much tighter. But you know where I made a mistake on this trade? After we got this initial kind of push, you know, I took my eye off of it, meaning that, like, statistically, like when I track my trades, my best trades, I usually hit like 3 or 4 times during the day. So, you know, what I needed to really be doing is like stalking this thing, you know, for like extra trades. So you can see this is like a common kind of pattern that you guys can really get used to. This will happen like on these kind of trades where, you know, you start to like pull back and it doesn't even hold at its MAs and it'll even start making lower highs, right? And you almost think like, oh, okay, it's going to like fade off. but then like it'll quickly it'll do this towards the end of the day. If it quickly, so you don't want it like forever, but if it quickly within 4, 5, 6 candles remounts these MAs, like usually that stock can go on an end of day run. It's like, you can hit this thing and put a stop on an MA, so like risk $1, and you can kind of catch back into this, into the shred. So this thing got really like a nice close, but my big mistake on this was there was a couple other opportunities for me to get in and really shred. So you got to remember, like, just if you have a good trade, a lot of times if you have a good trade, like I do this all the time, you have a good trade and you're like, all right, I'm done for the day. Like, I'm going to relax a little bit. But if you have a good trade and a stock that's really working for you, I mean, you have to be stalking it for extra risk, like hunting it. How do I get more of this? Like, if this thing holds up, how can I get this again? I think that's where sometimes we can be lackadaisical. That's what kind of happened with me. I was like, cool, nice, nice day, whatever. And, we end up missing, because like the secondary plays can be just as powerful as the first ones, and you got to re-hit. So I always think like, okay, you got to shred. How do I re-shred, right? How do I re-shred this thing? So this is a day 2 play. So on a day 2 play, you can see you got pretty much like a flat to weak open. Watch this one on the red to green. Red to green. So you got a weak open on this. If this thing goes red to green, I'm talking like right at the open. Like we could be, dude, we could be on the shred zone on this. Yeah, I think this is going to be our play for today. We're going to get a secondary play on this. JMI, I was thinking maybe after this day, like it was probably a short, but it's looking like it's holding. It held right at its 9 EMA. Where I should have, where I made my mistake in my analysis on this? You can see how it just came back, right back into the old breakout spot? And you had the 9 EMA there. That's like a telltale classic sign. Sometimes you get so focused in on like what's happening on, just the action from the previous day that you miss the overall structure of what a chart looks like. And the overall structure of it was still nice. I think we're going to get a day 2 out of this bad boy. I mean, pretty much the whole float is short on this thing. You're going to, we could get a little bit of a short squeeze. I think we get a day 2 on this bad boy. Let's keep that in. This ARWR was a beautiful trender yesterday. So you can see you did an ORB pattern right at the open, right? So you took out its opening range, and then it just never looked back. You had a beautiful, man, I sound so Trump right there, right? It's the most beautiful pattern ever, okay? We've got fantastic growth, a deal with China, okay? And a big fat wall all across the Mexican border. So this ARWR is fantastic. It's great, people. So you got this beautiful, man, beautiful little trend going here. Now, I think we get a day 2 on this. Watch this, like, kind of 47-ish. You're spiking up here about 50 cents at the open. If this thing goes green to red, meaning it spikes up here at the open, and it can't, like, bust over this 48, 49, and it re-rolls, watch for lower highs. I think you get a day 2 play out of this. This is down 15% yesterday. The SSR will be on it, but I think you got some room to fall. Remember that this thing was, in the beginning of the year, $10. So it's always got a little bit of room to fall. I'm surprised that we kind of missed this yesterday. Usually we're all about these like biotech faders. That one's looking zesty though. Man, GSX had a power close. This is another gap, okay? If this thing goes green to red and fades a gap, we short it. Just like yesterday. See how it gapped up and then it re-rolled? It dropped like $3-4 really quickly in 3-4 candles. Same type of deal we want to watch for. Spike up and then re-fade. This thing is up now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. Today's gonna be day 9. Oh yeah, we're gonna catch a shred on this bad boy. Alright. You're also $4 away from your 9 EMA. That one's gonna be tricky. I was putting SE on the list. I think that this one, it's a bit of tricky trader for me, but I think that one, we can put on the list because you are busting out of this, you know, kind of flag pattern over here. VJ, good eye. I'm going to steal that from you. Thank you. That one looks pretty good. Let's add that. If this thing ORBs, it's only a $4 billion market cap. So if you see an ORB pattern on this bad boy, yeah, you can get it going. Cool. GSX, Space. These are all my faves. I don't think we really need very much else for anything. We've got a nice list there. What am I missing? So let's rank these, all right? Let's just rank these. On the non-gappers, we've got BYND, Yeti, ARWR. These are the faves, all right, for day 2 type of plays. And then we have these gappers. Hey, Jordan, what's up, baby? And JNUG is always, I think JNUG is, this one's got a big bottoming pattern on it. Look at the way it dipped and ripped yesterday. So JNUG gapped down yesterday. 4 candles that held at lows, built a range, and then, man, 72 to 77 very, very quickly. And then it had a power close. J-Lo, I like it, baby. I think this one, you know, we might see 80 today on it. Cool. So, yeah, JNUG is always on our list. JNUG is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You know, this SMAR, this one looks like a swing trade. Like, I think it's, first of all, the pattern is very solid. This kind of compression really works in the market right now. Like, these kind of compression moves, they tend to break out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing $50, $55. It's more of a swing trade stock for me. Like, its intraday range is like $1. You know what I mean? Marvin, what's up, baby? Yeah, I think this STC is ready for bounce too. Typically, if you get 3 down days, 3 red candles after a big thrust, day 4, you can bounce. So I think that one's, I got that on my list too. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, you can just input the watch list into your TC2000 if you want. Yeah. Good. Let's take a look. So, yeah, Nio is good. Nio's okay. Like, it's got a really nice... It's got a nice trend going, but now you're kind of on like, man, you're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. 10 days? That one's going to be tricky. 10 days in a row up is tough. Yeah, Shaq looks pretty good too, Danny. Okay, so you got nice kind of push over here. That one could work. The liquidity dries out on it, but it is very nice. Yeah. I'd keep it on the list for sure. Yeah, I've been watching this one too. It just seems like the range is dried up on it. Like, anybody notice that on this FSLY? Like, you got this range break over here, but it kind of is, it feels like it's just dried up a little bit. Like, its intraday range is just too small. Like, this is one of those ones, like, I like this stock in general, but this is like one of those ones, like, you know, you buy 500 shares of it, put a stop loss, and just let it roll. And, you know, in a few days, you probably see it, you know, once it starts to trend, you see it at $30 relatively quickly. But, like, for the intraday trading, it just doesn't give you that range that you need. INMD is another one that looks very swingy to me. You know, you got kind of this range break here. You're over your MAs now. You're starting to trend. This one's got, this one's got all-time highs written all over it too. So these are all pretty good. Good, good, good. I think we got a nice solid list. What you think? What you think? Hey, Donald, I didn't like Akka because it's already fading off. It faded off too much of its gain. So it's going to be stuck under resistance here. And that one's tricky. So I'd probably leave that one alone. Yeah, BA's chart is very broken. Man, even the Trumpster was on CNBC bashing him. I'm very disappointed in Boeing. They're a fantastic American company, but now they're not. I mean, overall, the one thing is like Boeing's not going to be hurting. These guys were like $100 in just a couple years ago. But like you can see here, this 300 level is going to be really important. Like if this thing loses that 300 spot, then this is like a long. See when you see like a chart and there's like a middle finger here, that's what we call like in trading books they call that like a head and shoulders. But like in day trader vernacular, we call that the cock and balls pattern. That is the infamous and dreaded cock and balls pattern. That one's gonna be no good. Yeah, if this thing busts under 300, we shred this thing short. Good, good, good. And this mRNA is all right, but my one worry with this one is it's already fading off pre-market. I don't like that when they like fade off like $2 of their gains. That's no fun. Cool, cool, cool. Well, let's shred today. Let's get focused. Let's shred. Make sure we're having some fun. And guys, remember what I said like with that BYND? When you have a stock that's got meat on it, stalk it all day. Like stalk it all day. So like you hit it once. If it sets up again, you got to come in hot for the shred. We got to push each other, when we're trading, guys. This is we need Sal's to cheerlead for us a little bit. We got to make sure we stay aggressive throughout the day because this type of hot market, you don't get, there are markets that trend and there's markets that consolidate. You don't get like a monster trending market every day. You got to really lay the chips in and do what you got to do. So as always, let's have some fun. Guys, if you're liking these YouTubes, of course, make sure to hit the like button. And guys, we're starting, boot camp class in 6 days, right? It's a 60-day boot camp. Takes you from A to Z and everything we do. You guys definitely always want to check it out. But and our old students like Marvin, you're more than welcome to retake class. So let's go do what we do, which is the do-do.